Subnormal. Subnormal intelligence represents the most limited cognitive function, typically with IQ below 70. This often results from genetic conditions, brain injury, or developmental complications. Abstract thought, language, and memory are severely restricted. Daily tasks like dressing, eating, or following simple instructions require lifelong assistance. Their world is immediate and sensory. They respond to tone, touch, and emotion more than logic or language. Yet emotional capacity often remains strong. They recognize kindness, form attachments, and express joy or distress in profound ways. With proper support, structure, and compassion, they can live meaningful lives within their capacity. Modern approaches emphasize dignity and maximizing quality of life, rather than focusing on limitations. Below average. Below average intelligence includes those who function independently but struggle with complexity. IQ typically ranges from 70 to 85. They can work, maintain relationships, and handle daily life. But academic subjects and abstract concepts present challenges. Learning works best through repetition and hands-on experience rather than theory. They might struggle with written instructions, but excel when tasks are demonstrated. Math problems with physical objects make sense, pure numbers don't. Many excel in practical skills. They may find algebra difficult, but master trades like carpentry or plumbing. Reading comprehension might be hard, but customer service or caregiving comes naturally. Socially, many are warm, loyal, and emotionally intuitive. With environments that play to their strengths, they live fulfilling, independent lives. Intelligence below average doesn't mean incapable, it means learning differently. Average. Most people live here, and most think they don't. Average intelligence enables reading, writing, basic math, following rules, and maintaining conversations. You understand cause and effect, make plans, and learn from mistakes. It's functional, balanced intelligence. Teachers, drivers, technicians, nurses, small business owners, they all operate here. The world runs on average intelligence. It's stable, practical, and enough to navigate modern life. But here's the trap. This level feels like the end of growth. You're smart enough to think you understand everything, but not sharp enough to see your blind spots. You confuse being right with being informed. Life works well enough that there's no pressure to push further. Average intelligence can develop into above average through effort, but most never feel the need to try. That's the real limitation. Not capability, but complacency. Above average. Above average intelligence is where thought accelerates. You don't just learn, you leap. You spot patterns others miss and see outcomes forming before problems are even defined. Your mind processes faster and deeper. School felt slow. Conversations feel like waiting. You might talk less because you're editing yourself mid-sentence, already 3 steps ahead. These minds excel in fields requiring systematic thinking, engineering, coding, science, strategy. But speed creates isolation. You see too much too early. You might fake normalcy just to keep peace, not because others are stupid, but because the cognitive gap creates real communication barriers. The challenge is learning to bridge that gap, to translate fast thinking into accessible language. High intelligence without social connection becomes high detachment. High. High intelligence typically means IQ between 130 and 145, the top 2%. People here don't just think quickly. They make intuitive leaps that seem like magic. They see solutions before consciously working through steps. They breeze through advanced material or teach themselves topics far beyond curriculum. They're drawn to theoretical fields, physics, mathematics, philosophy, complex systems. Pattern recognition operates at a different scale entirely. Emotionally, it can be isolating. Your cognitive development outpaces emotional maturity. You understand mortality at 8, but lack the framework to process it. Finding intellectual peers is difficult. Conversations with most people feel shallow. When supported and challenged, these individuals become innovators who push boundaries. Without outlets, high intelligence turns inward, becoming anxiety or frustrated potential. Gifted. Gifted goes beyond high scores into unmistakable territory. Often identified young, gifted individuals don't just learn faster, they learn differently. They make connections that seem to come from nowhere. Memory is exceptional. They recall conversations verbatim, recognize patterns instantly, master skills with minimal practice. Focus can be laser sharp, allowing hours of deep concentration, but everything feels more intense. Emotions run deeper. Sensory input overwhelms. Injustice feels physically painful. Socially, the gap widens. Age peers feel years behind. Adults are intellectually accessible but socially inappropriate as companions. Many feel fundamentally alone. Standard education often fails them. They finish work in minutes and spend the rest unstimulated. Without challenge, they become underachievers. With proper support and intellectual peers, they flourish as creators and deep thinkers who expand human capability. Genius. Genius doesn't just solve problems, it rebuilds frameworks. Geniuses question assumptions everyone else accepts. Their thinking doesn't run faster, it runs sideways, approaching from angles no one considered. Einstein didn't just do better physics, he reconceptualized space and time. Their contributions aren't improvements, they're paradigm shifts, but genius rarely feels like a gift. The isolation is profound. Your thoughts move in directions others can't follow. Society often punishes genius before celebrating it. Ideas too far ahead get rejected or ridiculed. Institutions resist disruption. Many geniuses die unrecognized, appreciated only generations later. Depression, anxiety, and isolation plague many. The mind that revolutionizes physics struggles with basic social interaction. Genius is humanity's cutting edge, but it's a lonely, difficult place to exist. Polymath. Polymaths are geniuses with range. While genius might revolutionize one field, polymaths master multiple domains. Da Vinci painted masterpieces, designed machines, studied anatomy, and advanced engineering. Franklin excelled in science, politics, writing, and invention. What defines them is synthesis. They don't just accumulate knowledge, they integrate it. They see how math applies to music, how biology informs architecture, how philosophy connects to physics. This requires more than intelligence. It demands decades of learning driven by curiosity, not credentials. Modern specialization makes this harder. Systems reward narrow expertise. Yet humanity's biggest problems require the cross-domain thinking only polymaths provide. In a world pushing specialization, polymaths remind us of the power of thinking broadly. Visionary. Visionaries don't just understand the world, they see what it could become. Their intelligence combines genius thinking with foresight and courage. They identify possibilities that seem impossible until they make them real. They don't just invent, they change how humanity lives. They see futures others can't imagine and chart paths toward them. This requires boldness to challenge systems, resilience through rejection, and skill to translate vision into action. Most visionary ideas fail. The line between visionary and delusional only becomes clear in retrospect. But successful visionaries don't just advance fields, they bend civilization's trajectory. Visionary intelligence isn't just being smart, it's using intelligence to create futures that expand what's possible for everyone. Transcendent. Transcendent intelligence is the highest level where intelligence stops being about knowledge and becomes about awareness. These minds don't just connect dots, they question why we're looking at dots. Buddha, Socrates, certain philosophers who saw through thought itself. They understood consciousness and existence at levels that dissolve ordinary categories. This intelligence is quiet, still, often mistaken for simplicity. At this level, intelligence stops serving ego and starts serving truth. Questions shift from, how do I succeed, to what is success? From how do I win, to what game are we playing? This is rarest because it requires not just ability, but willingness to dismantle your own certainties. Most use intelligence to defend ego. Transcendent intelligence sees beyond ego entirely. It's not flashy, it doesn't win prizes, but it represents the furthest reach of human consciousness, where intelligence becomes wisdom. 10 levels, 10 expressions of human cognitive capacity. From subnormal to transcendent, each represents not just different amounts, but qualitatively different ways of experiencing reality. Understanding these levels changes how you see yourself and others. That struggling student might be operating at a different level. That colleague who grasps everything instantly is genuinely processing faster. That friend asking strange questions might be operating where those questions become unavoidable. Intelligence isn't something you have or don't have. It's a spectrum. Your level influences how you experience the world, what challenges you face, and what contributions you can make. Every level has value. Average intelligence runs civilization. High intelligence advances it. Genius transforms it. Transcendent intelligence questions why we're doing it at all. So where do you fall? And what are you doing with the intelligence you have? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this changed how you think about intelligence, subscribe. We break down complex ideas about human potential every week. Next, we're covering every manipulation tactic and how to spot it, Your intelligence level isn't your limit, it's your starting point.